if you're watching right now, eyeballs. And we got an unboxing because yesterday was record store day, which I don't really do. But when I was on tour in Toronto, Canada, I got an awesome box from a legendary thrash metal band called Slaughter, and I still haven't opened it. I It's been hard because we've been doing a bunch of stuff since we got back, and today I'm going to open the box, and I can't what's inside of it. It's amazing that I could go this long without opening it. It's it's a miracle. But also, we're going to talk about Hyrax tour dates. Also, want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart for ordering Hyrax records and CDs and all that other stuff online at our band camp and also our big cartel. Especially to everybody that's been stopping by the big cartel. Thank you so much. Hyrax Big Cartel. We're going to ship out more records this week. We have the new Immortal Legacy in stock right now on CD, cassette, and vinyl. So thank you guys, that everybody that's been ordering. We appreciate it. Should I get so we got some people checking in? Is that what's going on? Because this thing's crazy today. Usually we're a little bit more prepared, but this is kind of cool because we're not prepared. We're just going for it. So
Yeah, I know. I don't have all my sound effects, so I'll have to do my own. They're just people saying hi from the tour that we just did, and some that are looking forward to coming up. And you're saying hello, and
also
Dave
coming
from
to
Chicago,
Mexico.
and Oslo, and then we have
Hello, Chicago.
Brazil, and they all chimed in too a lot, and
Hello to everybody in
Milwaukee,
Brazil.
you know,
Milwaukee,
and Tijuana, and like you said, San
Tijuana.
Luis Potosi. So it's a really exciting time, sure.
Yeah.
But this box that you've been holding on
Yeah, I've been
to
holding on to this.
every day, like, let's open it.
It's
So
pretty cracked,
today
but I
seems
still
to
haven't
be the
pulled
day.
anything out.
All right.
So I guess I'll start. Everybody's waiting, like going, "What the fuck? Open the box." All right. So what I did, because we were on tour, and when you're on tour, it's really hard bringing records back home because you don't want to get them damaged. And I'm just like any other typical record collector. I am so anal about my records, it's ridiculous. But this is one of the records I got from a band that we were touring with called Savage Master. Very good band. If you haven't heard them, check them out. Just Google it or go on Instagram and Facebook, look up their site and order some stuff from them. I love supporting bands that are underground bands, and this is one of them. So check them out. It helps more than you know. A lot of the fans don't realize how much it helps to buy our merch and support the bands, but it means the world to us. So when you do that, you're really helping out a lot. And so let's get to the box.
Drum roll.
All right.
Nah, that was just my knees.
That's awesome. So awesome packaging, because these guys understand that when it comes to records, you have to do your best to keep them from getting damaged. This is all
damage.
amazing packaging. Wow, they really went off here. I'm pulling out everything. That kept it
nice.
So it's one of my all-time favorite bands, a band called Slaughter from Toronto, Canada. Really lucky because they're such good people and such a great band. I mean, for me, going back to the early 1980s, they were one of the bands that I just liked immediately. And so any people that haven't heard Slaughter, you should check them out. I don't even know what else to say. I just say check them out because they're an amazing band. So here's a few things that I got. It's bringing back a lot of memories actually for me because, wow. A lot of these records I had original pressings of, like this one right here. This is a repress, but I still am glad to get it. Unfortunately, a lot of my original records I don't have anymore because, like a lot of other people, I went through some times where you sold records. That's what we did back in the old days. But to have this back on vinyl is awesome. So stoked. Nocturnal Hell, One Foot in the Grave, and Tortured Souls. So 7-inch, and it's got a patch in it. So what I would do too is, if you're interested in Slaughter, the Canadian band Slaughter, go online, look them up as well. You can either go to Facebook or Instagram, or just Google and find where to order their stuff. Here's a picture disc that I got too as well.
Nice.
Strappato's an amazing record. If you haven't heard Strappato, you must check it out. Um, Not Dead Yet vinyl, which I didn't have, so now it's great. I do have this now, and obviously, this is another classic. Surrender or Die. So I'm really happy to have these back in my collection. Thank you to Slaughter, all the guys in Slaughter, Dave, Terry, Ron. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Show all the cameras.
Yeah, show all the cameras. Slaughter. I'll try to go through these real quick.
Yeah.
And once again, the Strappato picture disc.
Nice.
So yeah, it's, like I said, support the bands. These guys are one of the best bands from Canada as far as I'm concerned. Check them out. Order their stuff online, whatever you can get. Like I said, here's the 7-inch, which is really great to have back in my collection. I remember having this back in the day, and it's good to have it again. So thank you to Slaughter. Also, if you have any questions, go ahead and chime in wherever you want. Also picked up some toys while I was on tour, which is always a pleasure. So I'm gonna take some questions.
Yeah, just the hell yeah, Slaughter from
Metal.
Canada, saying what's up to that. And some people are asking, will you, sign at the
Yeah, I mean,
at the future
Future
shows?
IRAC shows, we always come out, especially after we play. Before we play, we're just trying to get ready, so we don't really linger around too much. Especially myself, because I'm trying to save it for the stage. But right after we get done playing, we come out. We'll sign whatever you guys want us to sign. For us, it's a pleasure and an honor. Just meeting the fans, man. You guys mean a lot to us. So when we come out, we're there to hang out. We don't try to hide from you. That's never been our style. I mean, I don't even know about all this VIP stuff, because to me, when you come to a concert, you should all be treated like VIPs. So, I'm not putting down any other bands, but we just would prefer to come out and just meet you in person. And that's just how we work. So yeah, we'll come out and sign whatever Hyrax vinyl you want signed, and like I said, it's an honor for us. So thank you. And the support that we've been receiving, especially over the last few years, has been amazing. People supporting us by coming to the shows, buying merchandise. Even the people that can't make it to see us, like just even sending us messages on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We appreciate that, and that's really what keeps us going. I mean,
Yeah.
it's mandatory for us to, keep continuing on, especially when we feel all the love and support that we get. So thank you from all of us, in the band Hyrax. We appreciate you.
Oh, and people are saying hugs, and they're all mentioning where they're from.
Much hugs
So
and
nice.
love to all you guys. We get people checking in from all over the world,
Yeah.
and that means a lot to us. Finland, Norway, Sweden. I mean, the list is crazy.
Yeah.
Japan, Brazil, South America, Chile, Argentina, Venezuela, Paraguay, Uruguay. In fact, we're playing Uruguay for the first time this year. We're coming back to Argentina. I'm still looking at all the South American tour dates. We're going to be back out again to Europe. We're coming to Europe like right after Mexico. We're doing Mexico coming up. So there's a lot happening. Just a lot of great stuff going on. So, but like I said, I don't mind taking any questions. That's why I'm here. We're going to be on for somewhere around an hour, not too much longer than that. But I'm here to take any questions, music related, just also if you're going through some shit, it's always we're here for you. I mean, when we did the last tour, there were so many heavy stories of people that came to our shows, traveled to see us in other cities, from other cities, and all that stuff we remember, especially there was some stuff that happened when we played in Detroit. I want those guys out there in Detroit to know that we love you guys. Thank you for your support. Some of the guys couldn't even catch the shows, but they came early. We're waiting in front of the venue when we got there. We heard some truly amazing stories. And I just want you guys to know that we love you. And thanks for being there for us. We're there for you as well. Tour dates, Anna? I think you're overwhelmed by some of the comments on there because we're trying to read the comments as they come in. They're coming in pretty fast. Um,
Well, I guess like I would know that I'm on this side, right? Yeah. So, but I mean, they're just asking if you bring merchandise. I thought maybe you'd want to talk about Vigilante, how that went
Oh
over,
yeah,
or
yeah, no,
something
we're
like
bringing
that.
merch.
I
It's been really cool. Like every tour, it's almost like we can't bring enough merch because like we'll do half the shows and all the merch is almost gone. Which thank you guys. I mean
yeah.
seriously, that's what keeps us going. And so there will be Hyrax merchandise every city that we go to. Obviously, the later dates that we do on the tours, that's when we start to run kind of low. So it just happens, but we're really appreciative of that. um, yeah, there will be Hyrax merchandise, and there's more tour dates coming up as we speak. Our agents contact us, and they always ask us, like, with the South American tour dates, the dates have been extended because we're doing quite a few cities and countries in the South American tour. The European tour is looking great, and we're actually playing some places that we played before and some new places. We're going back to Dresden, Germany, which is always fun. That was like the last date added to the European tour. We're going to be in Sweden again, which has been a long time since we've been in Sweden. We're also coming back to Norway. We haven't been in Norway in a long time. So all that stuff is just awesome. But yeah, so
Did you say Belgium and
Belgium, yeah, we're doing Belgium.
Germany,
Also, I don't wanna
Holland,
forget Holland. We'll be
Sweden,
back
and
in
Norway?
Holland. Belgium, Holland, Germany, Sweden, Norway. I think that's pretty much all of it. Is that it?
Okay, yeah. And so I was just reading, so I didn't know if you said all the what territories. In July is Brazil, yep, and South America. It's gonna be amazing. Let me get a pair of those Hyrax shoes. See you soon in Uruguay. Saw you guys in Ohio.
Ohio
True
was cool
Metal.
too. Yeah.
And uh, I guess Demi Burger is gonna have their first album out in 8 years
Cool.
on May 22nd.
That's awesome. I think the thing is with a lot of it is that if a band can keep going, like right now we're working on a new album too, and we've recorded 5 of the songs that are gonna be on the record. It's not finished. The vocals haven't even been laid down yet, but we got basic tracks for 5 new songs. We're gonna go back in after the European tour and try to lay down at least another 5 to 7 more songs. Um, we've been playing Vigilante, which is off the new record on this tour, and it went over it's exceptionally well, which made us feel really good because whenever you're premiering new material, it's always kind of a little scary because you don't know how it's going to be received. But Vigilante's been going over well. That'll probably be the first single off the new record, just because it feels right. Sometimes you got to go with your gut feeling, and that song seems to be one of those tunes that people really connected with. So, looking forward to releasing new Hyrax material. Hopefully, the new record will be out before this year's over. I also want to say when we're touring, I really appreciate the gifts too, because we get a lot of stuff where people come to the shows and bring us gifts. Jeff out there in Detroit, amazing what you did for us. You made us feel at home. You brought us stuff that's mainly out of Detroit. Those gifts were amazing. We loved it. So thank you so much. We get photos. This was a photo given to me by one of the fans on the road, and it just kicks your ass. For me to see this stuff is just amazing. So thank you guys for all this really cool stuff that we get. And I can't say anything else except for I'm humbled, very humbled. What were we gonna say, Anna?
So sweet. Yeah, someone on the YouTube says he hasn't seen you since MySpace, so that's pretty great. And will there be a UK shows?
We were supposed to on this European run. There were some UK dates
Yeah,
talked about, but
one
for
week
some reason,
before.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a timing issue. Like it's logistics, but we'll definitely come back to the UK, which is awesome. I love touring the UK, and I love the people there, and also I love UK breakfasts. I mean,
Oh yeah.
yeah, we love UK breakfasts. What's funny when we came back from the first tour of the UK, ever since we've been pretty much trying to make our breakfast like the UK
Ah,
breakfast.
true.
We like
Facts.
beans. I think it's the
With
baked
the
beans.
tomato and the
Yeah,
beans.
amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll get back to the UK.
Okay, now I'm gonna make that.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Yvette says that flag is sick. I guess behind you, right? And
Thank you.
Bill Roseberry, what's the coolest touring experience for Hyrax? That's
It's
the
there's
coolest.
too many to mention, but I will say that the coolest thing about the experiences when we tour is really meeting the fans because we have
Oh,
such
smoked bacon.
such a diverse audience of people that come to see us. So if we're in South America or we're in Europe or we're in the UK or we're and even the US has such a different fan base of people that are so hardcore. Like the stuff that they do to come see us is mind blowing. And they'll travel 8 hours, drive 8 hours to come see the band. So, yeah, just meeting the fans and the stories and just talking about metal or music in general or just family, like, because basically our fans are our family. So when we tour, that's the reason we're doing it. Like, some bands are out there for different reasons, but we're all about the fans. It's always been our thing, and because we are the fans are us. So yeah, if I could say anything that's really great about the highlights of touring is meeting the fan base. It's awesome, man. I'm so grateful. I mean, to still be doing this after 40 years is unbelievable. It really is. So I know that Anna's reading the comments as they come in. So she's
Yeah.
trying to dig through and see what's worthy of talking about.
No, it's cool for
There's
sure.
just so
Everybody,
many.
it's kind, and I just love to hear where everyone's from. And I love your answer about the fans, being because that's universal. And so that's what it's all about.
So
So
yeah, she's trying to read where
just
everybody.
asking about demos and you have a demo coming out, but then and then there's also the 84
Yeah,
80s
that
demos.
one
So
comes up a lot. Yeah, we're still working on the first ever demo, which was 1984, Hyrax 4-song demo. Uh, we have the master tapes. They came back as a very big surprise because they were actually stolen or lifted, whatever you want to say, at a house party. The house was where we recorded the original demos. This should be in the liner notes when I write the liner notes, but maybe I'll go back and watch this and then just translate it. But what happened is the tapes were taken from a house where there was a party where we recorded the first 4 songs. And 40 years later, the guy that took them contacted me with a big heart because it takes a lot to do that and said, "Hey, I have these tapes." Makes the story even crazier was that his mom had passed away and he went back to clean out the house because they had to clean out the house, and he found the Hyrax demo master tapes in the bottom of his mother's closet. And so he contacted me. This sounds like something out of a movie, but anyways, he contacted me. I couldn't believe it. I had actually went to high school with this guy, and he wanted to meet, but it was during the pandemic, so we met at a graveyard where we grew up, and we exchanged the tapes in the parking lot of the graveyard while both of us had masks on, but we ended up hugging, and I told him I really appreciated it. And that's how the story of getting the tapes back happened. So the master tapes are in our possession. We took them to Bill Matoyer. We ended up getting them baked because they were so old to make sure that they wouldn't break apart. And we successfully did that. So the master tapes are pristine. For some reason, I guess when they held them in the closet at the bottom of the closet, sunlight did not hit the tapes. So the tapes were preserved like some ancient dinosaur. So, anyways, we're working on the rest of the package because there's a lot of history to the demos over 40 years, and we're trying to get all these old photos and concerts that we did. Like there was a show that we did with Striper and Metallica, which is one of the earliest shows back from that time. So we're trying to find all this stuff that we can put in the packaging because we want it to be awesome. I mean, I'm a record collector, and I think that you should always put a lot of love into the packaging of these records, especially now because records are way more expensive than they were back when I first started buying them. So I think the packaging should be killer. So, anyways, yeah, that's what's going on with those demos.
can't wait.
Pretty extensive story, but that's the truth of
Well,
it.
yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, when it finally does come out.
Yes, so cool, so cool. So I'm saying, hail, Katon, and I
Hail!
love you,
I
Katon,
love you
and
guys too. Much
amazing
love.
story, and they can't wait to hear it. What's your favorite upcoming bands?
It's funny. I mean, I actually do keep up on a lot of the new stuff, not as much as the guys in my band because they're younger than me. I'm 62. So, but I also like to keep up, or I'm
Yeah,
always
you're good at
discovering.
it.
I'm discovering a lot of old shit too.
Yeah,
So,
true.
if I'm going to talk about some new shit, I'm going to talk about
New
some old
old.
shit. Um, one of the bands that always, for me, they're not even that new anymore because it's probably been almost 20 years. But for me, that's new because I've been around 40 plus years. But the band that I really dig out of the younger bands is a band called Violator. They're from Brazil.
Yeah.
And I really dig those guys. I like what they're about. I like their attitude. I like that they're really about the underground. That's important to me. So that's for me. It's there's a few criteria in the younger bands that I like. I also like Gamma Bomb out of Ireland. We just did a show with them on this 70,000 tons of metal cruise, and they were really cool. But I also like old school bands. There's a band called Satan from the UK that I respect, and so when I see them, it's always awesome. We become really good friends over the years. um just obviously there's bands that we've known for decades, going back to the early days of us and Metallica and Megadeth and Exodus and all those Slayer, all those bands. So I try to also remember the new as well as the past because I don't think there could be either one without the other. So I think it's always good to bring up that stuff. There's also a band from Brazil called Corzo. I might be pronouncing it wrong because I'm all American dude out, but Corzo is an old school thrash metal band from Brazil. So if you haven't heard of them, check them out as well. I'm trying to think from different regions, and obviously, really old school. I still love Loudness. Loudness is one of my all-time favorite bands, and it's just great to see that they're still getting a lot of respect. They just played on some mega cruise or whatever it was called, and so it's good to see people like really digging them because I've loved that band since the early '80s. I've been a Loudness fan for a long ass time. So that's just some of the stuff. I mean, looking around. Oh, there's a band that we just toured with. I gotta give Desolist a shout out. They're a newer band, but I think they're gonna if they stick around and they stay hungry, I think they're gonna do well. So that's one of the newer bands I like a lot. So yeah, Desolus would probably be the newest of the bands that I've gotten into. So horns up to Desolus. If you haven't heard them, look them up. They just did a tour with us and they were awesome to tour. Then also a shout out to Savage Master. They were awesome. When you tour like that and everybody's like a working team together, it's awesome. I'm hoping that we get to do more tours with bands that have the same like-mindedness where we're just out there trying to do our music, take it to the people and have a really good time. Also, shout out to all the cities that we played. Obviously, some were a little rowdier than others. Obviously, New York, you guys were off the hook. Amazing job. But I mean, most of the shows were that way in general. But New York definitely was another step up. Baltimore, holy shit. Want to say much love and respect to everybody that came to see us out in Baltimore. Boston, who am I? I mean, I gotta keep going. I mean, all the cities were pretty killer. Even the final show, the show even that we did on Easter was amazing because they had to move it and they moved it to this underground venue.
Easter was in Indianapolis, so that wasn't moved.
Okay, okay.
But you want to talk about the underground venue, or you want to talk about Easter?
The underground venue was
Okay,
killer.
yeah, that was cool. That was Ohio. It was,
Yeah, Ohio.
yeah,
But sometimes we do so many shows, some of it bleeds
yeah,
together because seriously, people don't realize we'll play a show and then we drive to the next city. So some days almost bleed into each other.
sure.
It's a lot of driving and not much sleeping. But go ahead.
No, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's hard to remember which show
yeah,
is
I mean,
which.
it's not. It's almost like that old saying, like "Good evening, Ohio," and you're not in Ohio. You're in another city. So yeah, and Canada was great. I don't want to forget Canada. The Canadian metal fans are awesome. I want to say a shout out to Banger Television. Banger, you guys were awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Um, Great interview. great people. Canada's always, I mean, we got to go there a couple of times in the last year, and we'll keep going back to Canada. I can't decide who's better because we did Toronto and Montreal the last couple of times, and both are great, you know. So, Montreal, Toronto, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Canada rocks, man. Amazing
Yeah.
time.
Well, that seems to be a follow-up about upcoming bands. Any advice for young bands?
My advice for the younger bands, you know, like Hyrax didn't have it easy. Like now it's getting better because we've been around for decades, but you got to really believe in yourself. That's the main thing. Like if you love what you're doing, just keep at it. I mean, for us, it kind of feels good because we spawned some bands that were had the same attitude. They, you know, they saw what we were doing and they knew that you really got to believe in your stuff and believe in yourself and just keep doing it and get out there. Like you got to pay your dues too because it comes with the turf. Like it doesn't happen overnight. Like some people are going to think we're an overnight sensation. No, 40 years later. And there are bands that I saw do the same. Like I remember Deicide starting out. I remember Death. I knew Chuck Schuldiner. Everybody pronounces his name differently, but Chuck from Death. Well, I remember him as Mantis because Mantis was before Death, but he worked his ass off. One of the hardest working people I ever saw was Chuck, and look at what ended up happening. I mean, even though he's not around anymore, his legacy is amazing. Even Napalm Death's another band. When I think of Jesse Pintado and all of the guys from Napalm Death, I have nothing but mad respect for them because they work their asses off. So, I mean, that's really what it takes. Another guy I remember when he was 16, 17 was Gene Hoglan from Dark Angel. The dude is a working machine. He never stops. So you really got to, as a young musician, you got to push and just keep going and not don't listen to the noise because there's a lot of noise out there from other people talking shit or they're jealous or they're trying to bring you down. If there are people talking about your band, you're actually doing something right. So keep that in mind. If you got people talking, even whether it's a little, you know, there's a little shit going on, you're doing something right because it's easier to be forgotten. People, if they're talking about you, you're on their mind. So just keep going, work hard. That's the main thing. You got to work hard. You got to work every day. Like right now, it's Sunday, and I'm on here right now myself. So me and my wife Anna, who's here, and
Yeah.
she's been my rock.
You
I
bet.
can't thank you enough, Anna.
Love you. No
I love you too.
problemo.
But you
Be
know,
there.
I have a really good partner. A lot of musicians have great partners, and they should give them credit. Like if you got anybody in your corner backing you up, you need to thank them right now, or even after you watch this episode, whatever we're calling this. You need to thank your partners or your bandmates. Mine too, Matthew, Alan, and Jeremy. You guys have been awesome. You know, I'm doing what I say. Like if you're gonna remember,
You do?
I got to remember too, my bandmates have been down and they've been working their asses off. We tour, you know, we do miles of road trips. We flew to the Czech Republic. We flew back. We played on a ship. You know, we did all these different things, and we've been in airports when we were dead tired. We've been freezing and cold weather. We've done it all. We've been in hot weather where we almost died, and that's not a joke. We almost died in Arizona. Seriously, we almost fucking died. So you really it's that intense. Like doing this music's not easy. So if you're gonna be into it, you gotta be die hard and you gotta surround yourself with die hard people, or it's not gonna work. So just get out there, bust your ass, have no regrets because everything that you go through on the road you learn from, the good and the bad. You're gonna also work with people. Some are great, some aren't. You're gonna, and also the people that are down with you, especially that help your band out, whether it's sleeping at their house or bringing you some food, make sure you let them know that you appreciate it because that's awesome. If somebody cares that much about your band, you got a badass in your corner. So that's like the most I can give you. And then also be independent. People don't realize this. We're way independent. Hyrax does all our own shit. We send out our own mail. When you buy stuff from our big cartel, you're getting it right from the band. You know, not everybody works that way. We just do because we're stubborn and we'd rather do it, you know. But You just got to work hard, and it doesn't hurt to be independent because it's a lot of people being involved in your shit and also diluting your shit because we want to give people pure 100% quality. I mean, that's what we try to do. So when you get packages from us, usually they're overkill because we want to make sure you get 100% back, you know. So that's my advice to young bands and even older bands. I'm sure there's some old bands, guys that have been around for a long time watching this. We can all learn from each other. I listen to other bands as well. I critique, I learn from them, I learn what not to do. I mean, we've actually toured with some bands that you learn what not to do. And then the last thing I can tell you, I'm not telling you how to live your life, but take care of yourself. If you want to be around, the only reason I'm around is, well, partially because my wife saved my life. But you gotta take care of yourself. Don't brutalize yourself. If you got people coming to your shows, make sure you get some rest so you can give them a hell of a show. They deserve a great show. You shouldn't be up there hammered and doing a half-ass show. Wait till after the show to get hammered. But when you're going to play a show, make sure you're 100% there and that you give your fans the best fucking show that they see ever in their lives. That should be your goal. So that's
Amen.
my critique, you know.
Good attitude.
And I know there's more stuff coming in. We're going to try to answer as much as we can before we get off here because
Sure.
we're on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook right now.
Yeah.
So we're trying to answer all three, and it ain't easy, but we're reading stuff as we go. I don't know how much time we have left, but
Well, I don't either. This was a spontaneous unboxing and updates from the tour.
anybody can you chime in and let us know how long we've been on for? Because you normally have about an
Well,
hour.
YouTube said it. You still have a half hour, or you want to
No,
stop, or
no,
I don't know.
thought
Like,
half hour.
I'm just saying this is unconventional what we've been doing for the live streams, but we did think about you guys. But that was
Yeah.
Easter weekend, so
Yeah, we were on tour on Easter, and that's normally when we would have done a live stream. But today is just off the cuff, you know, going for it. So
missed you. So if you could have dinner with anyone in history, who would it be? Or I guess alive or present, whatever. I mean, past, but
there's a few people. I mean, you know, I have a lot of heroes myself. Like everybody has rock and roll or heavy metal or thrash or punk. Punk, probably interesting would be Joey Ramone from the Ramones. If I could have sat down and talked to him, that would be really interesting. And also, I'm a huge Ramones fan. Some people know that, some people don't. But the Ramones is like one of the first bands I just went crazy for. I still have a ton of their records. Um, a lot of great memories because they were one of those bands that was like my teenage years. Obviously, Black Sabbath, but I probably want to talk to somebody in that band that most people wouldn't think about. Bill Ward, the drummer. I'd like to sit down and talk to Bill Ward. He's still alive, thank God. People that have passed would be Bon Scott, Phil Lynott from Thin Lizzy, obviously Bon Scott, Ace, Quiet Riot, Ozzy Osbourne. Randy would be really. I'd like to talk to him about his practice ethic, like how many hours a day he practiced. Um, Believe it or not, Kiss, but it would be Paul Stanley. For some reason, Gene just bums me out, but Paul Stanley would be kind of interesting to talk to about songwriting. I don't know, man. There's Lemmy, even though I did meet him a couple times and he was amazing, but Lemmy would be cool just to sit down and talk to about probably about touring. But we all have different heroes. I'm trying to, and ultimately, because probably the first rock star that I could relate to as a young kid was Hendrix. So Jimi Hendrix, to sit down and talk to him about just his approach to recording, because a lot of his techniques still to this day are being used. A lot of people don't realize what Jimi Hendrix did to recording techniques, but I'd love to sit down and talk to him about recording techniques and probably songwriting as well. But yeah, I mean, I think we all have different heroes and all that's good. But I also like comedians too. So it would probably be a guy named George Carlin. I'd love to talk to George Carlin. There's another guy named Stephen Wright, and one of my all-time heroes would be Richard Pryor and probably Red Fox. So, but that's just some of the stuff. I think that it doesn't always have to be musicians, just entertainers in general, or people that kind of made a big change. Another guy would be probably Bruce Lee. if I could sit down and talk to Bruce Lee, I
Right.
just love his whole thing. Bruce Lee was amazing. So
Good one. I like it. And some people are saying what they think as well. So,
cool, cool.
and I was just wondering, how does it feel when you every single night go in the crowd, surfing?
For me, I try to go with the way I feel, and a lot of the nights that I go into the crowd, it's almost like I want them to know I trust them.
You do.
This is
You
really
can trust them.
this is pretty personal, but when I go into the crowd or I crowd surf, it's more that I want everybody to know that I trust them because I think a lot of musicians they kind of stay away from the audience or they love the barrier. I don't like the barriers at all. I've said this many
No,
times before, but
no barriers.
I really think there should be no barriers in front of the stage. That's just me personally. I think nowadays they're probably more for the photographers, which are needed because the photographers they don't get enough credit. Photographers are such an important part of rock and roll and heavy metal, thrash, punk, whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
So much
Everything.
respect to the photographers. But for me as a performer, I don't like the barriers and I don't like I want that connection with the audience because we're the same, man. I mean, we're just the whole vibe of playing live is about the interaction of the band and the audience. So that's important to me. But yeah, the main reason I go out in the audience is I just want them to know how much I do trust them and I feel like when they're if they're holding me up or getting me back to the stage, they're looking out for me. So I think it's a beautiful thing. But good question, Anna.
Well, you're jumping and every night you're doing all this, but that's why keep up exercising and stuff too. So,
Totally.
do you want to tell the Hot Wheels story or something?
Oh yeah. Okay, so we were in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
We were in Indianapolis, and
So.
see, since I'm from California, I didn't know there were Kroger stores. Okay, there's a couple things when you're touring that are really important, like Kroger, and there's another place called when you're through Texas, especially. There's a place called Bucky's, and I love Bucky's, but Kroger, and I'm also not massively, but in the last few years, I got into Hot Wheels. I always liked them as a kid, but I started collecting Hot Wheels again, and it's like a rabbit hole that you can't climb out of because there's always going to be another cool car. But we went into a Kroger, and I saw this father and daughter, which was pretty amazing to see that kind of a bond between a father and daughter. But they were actually digging through boxes of Hot Wheels because they were the kind of family that gets there early. So they got there when these shipments of Hot Wheels had showed up, and the dad and the daughter were going through them, and they were trying to find this certain Hot Wheel that they were into. They were so sweet because when I walked by, I said Hot Wheels rule, and they were like, "Yeah." And they found me later on. I think we found each other actually because Hot Wheels people are like that. And I had a Hot Wheel for them because it was one of my favorite. And I found two of them, so I was gonna give him one. And the dad said, "No, he wasn't. That wasn't his Hot Wheel of choice. He showed me his, and he had four of them, and he wanted to give me one. And I said, nah, because it wasn't one of the ones that I was into. But it was like a mutual respect. It wasn't we were dissing each other. We just had different tastes in Hot Wheels. So, but it was really cool to see the bond that him and his daughter had. And I'm almost gonna choke up.
Yeah.
Uh, to see
They were
this,
excited too.
yeah,
That's great.
they were really happy, and to see people happy like that is beautiful. But anyways, the Hot Wheels that I liked that I tried to give him, he was like, "I'm good." So I bought both of them because it's my favorite Hot Wheel.
We've been looking everywhere.
I've been looking everywhere. Anyways, here's both of them. Anyways, there's a few different makes of this Hot Wheel. There's different colors, obviously. And there's also the giant ones, which I have here. This is the giant one, and this also the Transformer version.
I don't think they can see it.
I'll bring it over. My wife says you guys can't see it. So, anyways, this is the Transformer version of the Hot Wheel, which last night I had to put together because my brother-in-law came over and he's a toy dude just like me, and he was getting mad because at Christmas time he brought this for me and he said, "I'm buying this for you only if you'll transform it because it goes from a car to this transformer." But anyways, this is the car version of it, and I hadn't seen this. It's blue, and I have a couple of the others. I have one more down here and another hidden. So somewhere. But anyways, nerd alert, nerd. Anyways, I
Nerd alert.
nerded out, and but what I think I'm trying to say, guys, this is good fun, and it's wholesome, good fun. This tour that we just did was really amazing for me because we got to go across the country at a time when things are kind of crazy, and to see the love and the respect and how awesome people were at our shows. Like we had people coming together from all kinds of different backgrounds, man. And if to see that is awesome. So I feel like I'm really honored, and I'm in a very special place to be out there and see that. We went to Canada also, but we also did a decent portion of America, and America's still awesome. I mean, I'm not trying to get all in any of this stuff that's going on, but what I'm trying to say, there's a lot of great people still out there. No matter what your background, no matter what you believe, what is, or any of that shit. Music is beautiful, and it brings a lot of beautiful people together. So much love and respect, because you should see our audiences, man. Like I am so proud when we play our shows because the people there are so open and so fucking cool. So I just want to say that without getting too mushy and too I don't know, wimpy, whatever you want to call it. I am so grateful for the fans and the people that come out and support us. We play in places that we've never played, and to see these audiences. I mean, we played. I'm trying to think, it was Detroit or New York, and somebody drove to New York from Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, we really appreciate that. I don't know if this live stream I got on here to just throw out so much love, but seriously, I want you guys to know that I
Oh
love you.
yeah.
I appreciate you
We
and all the
love you
support.
too.
So much love and
Right.
respect to each and every one of you.
Yeah.
There's like 4 cameras in front of me, so I'm trying to let you guys know
Yeah.
much love and respect.
I love you back.
Yeah. Oh, here's something I picked up in Montreal. It's a transformer.
Oh,
I do like
Transformers.
transformers, but I like them to be like different, because like obviously there's the brand Transformers, and that shit's awesome as well as very expensive. So if you're a lowerly musician, that's not always, but also there's really cool other shit out there. There's a company called Bandai. If
Yeah.
you're not familiar with Bandai, they make incredible shit. Some of it's a bit pricey, but Bandai you can't go wrong with. It's like the best brand when it comes to toys. So check that shit out. But I'll take some more questions. I know we're starting to bite into that last half hour, but bring it on. Again, I don't mind. Also, I love hearing where you guys are tuning in from, because sometimes it's just crazy. We're gonna go through the messages when we get a chance after these live stream ends, because a lot of times we'll end up going back through and we're like amazed where you guys are chiming in from. And also too, even like we have a lot of close friends too that check this stuff out, that are in the same city as me or a city or two away, that I don't always get to see because I have been touring a lot the last couple of years. So to all of our close friends that we don't get to see as often, love you guys. To all my bros that this is another thing. When I first started doing live streams, and I always go back to this, it was during the beginning of the pandemic. It was the very beginning of the pandemic, and I started doing these just to keep from losing my mind because we were on lockdown. Some of you guys might not even remember that. I don't know. Some people have a short term memory, but I have not forgotten being locked down and locked in the house during the pandemic. And there were a lot of friends that I made that I'm still friends with. I love you fucking guys. There's so many, but off the top of my head, Daryl, Sean, Mike Lund, a lot of really good people. Tomas from Brazil, Tomas Pinero, just a lot of really cool people. I'm sorry if I left anybody out, but since the pandemic, I've been doing these, and it's probably over 5 years later. I don't know, but you guys all helped me get through the pandemic, and hopefully I did the same, because I feel like sometimes we have to lean on each other as humans. I wish there wasn't so much complication in this world with people getting along, but I think that's the best thing we can do, is just try to figure each other out and try to be understanding of each other. And also, I get a lot of messages from around the world. So I have a different outlook on the world because there's people that write to us from countries that are actually fighting each other. And I'm like in the middle of it, but I don't want to choose sides because I love everybody. So it's kind of a tough thing. I mean, we have bands and people, like even soldiers that use our songs, they use Hyrex songs to go to war and fight. And I mean, I do understand getting fired up, but it's just it's a fine line for me as a musician. But I just want to say I love everybody. I love all the countries. I know that there's good people in every country, not just one, thing. Like every country, no matter what anybody says, has good people in them. So it's a complicated thing we're dealing with, but let's try to love each other, especially through music. Anna's reading. I can see that she's reading the comments that are coming in. She's trying to pick stuff because
Well, I just thought you would want to know like Humboldt County,
Humboldt
Coachella
County.
Valley,
Well,
Greece,
well,
Coachella Valley.
Coachella Valley, what's up? Hey, what's up, Greece, to all our brothers and sisters in Greece?
Canada.
Cheers, Canada. You know I love you, Canada. I love everybody.
The Netherlands.
What's up, the Netherlands? We'll be seeing you guys very soon. Norway,
Yeah.
very special.
Detroit.
Detroit, what's
It's
up?
Jeff.
Jeff, what's up?
Hello, Gavin. He didn't say where he's from.
Hey, what's up, Gavin? You can tell us where you're from. But also, back to Norway real quick. My wife's family's from Norway. My wife's heritage is Norwegian heritage. We're playing there. It's going to be very special for me because I get to go back and see my in-laws and my wife's cousins and everybody. So I'm looking forward to going back to Norway. I've been fortunate enough to go to Scandinavia and Norway. Askøy.
Yeah.
So just much love and a beautiful country, man. So looking forward to it.
There's Houston, Texas, and
Houston,
people are
love Houston.
and Los Angeles. When are you gonna play your hometown?
What's up, Los Angeles? That's a great question. We're gonna do Los Angeles, but since it's our hometown, we always try to make sure it's super special. It is. I mean, Los Angeles, this is where we're at. I mean, I don't even know how to say it. I mean, obviously, it's one of the most special places we play because we're from here. Anytime you play home turf and the fan base is expanded, it's really cool. Like the other day, we were walking and we saw kids wearing Hyrax shirts. And for me, it's even mind blowing to see that in my hometown, to see Hyrax t shirts and stuff. So I'm looking forward to playing here. And I don't even know how to say. It's very special. To think back, we started out in 1984. That's when we first officially became Hyrax. And to still be going 42 years later, 41, 42. I remember struggling still, but not as much, but struggling, trying to get gigs at local bars. I mean, I was so young when Hyrax started that I was, even before that, we were called Chaos and LA Chaos. But starting out, I used to have to wait in a car, like a friend that drove because I was underage. So I could only go into the nightclub when it was time for us to play our set. And right when we got done, I'd have to leave the nightclub. I was not even old enough to really hang out, but I could play on stage because that was the fine line. I could play on stage and then leave after we got done playing. So coming up in the LA scene, playing almost every club. I think the only club we haven't played in LA might be the Viper Room, but we played pretty much everywhere. The Roxy, the Troubadour, the Key Club, which used to be called Gazzari's. We even played Gazzari's. Well, they changed the name over the years a bunch of times, but we played Gazzari's when it was still called Gazzari's. Played the Whiskey a couple of times. Easy, great venue, great people. We've been around. So, um, you know, we'll be back in LA. We love LA. We love the thrash metal maniacs. They're, all over the world, there's amazing thrash metal fans, but there's nowhere like Los Angeles. You guys are fucking crazy, and we love that shit. That's why we don't want to play with a barrier. One of the reasons it's going to take us a little bit to figure this out for LA is that we're trying to find a venue with no barrier because we want you guys to be able to do what you do, be free and go fucking crazy. So we're working on it. We're still trying to read some more comments before.
More hellos from Utah and Ohio.
Utah, what's up? And Ohio, what's up? Love you guys.
Radio City and the Woodstock. I don't know. And
Yeah, those are Orange County venues. We played
okay.
both. We played Woodstock. Us and Slayer used to play at Woodstock, and we also played Radio City. Us and Slayer used to play there too. Um, those were the early slash Orange County venues. We learned a lot. It was kind of amazing for a band without a record deal at that point. I remember us and Dark Angel teamed up at Radio City, and we packed it. Like it was completely packed, and both of us didn't really have a record. I think Dark Angel might have just released "We Have Arrived," but those were great days and stuff I'll never forget. And also shout out to Jim Durkin, never to be forgotten. Still love and miss Jim Durkin, man.
Yeah.
Great dude.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Jim.
Can you excited to see you at the Hague and
The Hague.
Netherlands? I know. And can you describe your favorite memory of Jeff, I guess from Slayer?
Oh wow, there's a bunch, but Jeff Hanneman. Oh, that's a good one. That might be one of the ones we end on because I know we're getting close. Real quick story. Jeff Hanneman was amazing. Slayer, another thing people got to give that band credit for. They worked their ass off. Those guys worked. The reason they got to where they're at is they were easily one of the hardest working bands, and Jeff was a very important part of that. But also a maniac when it came to partying. I remember we would hang out. There was a party. This is my favorite. There's a photo of it from this party, but if you look on the internet, there's a picture from Ron McGovney house. Ron McGovney was the original bass player for Metallica before Cliff Burton. So Ron McGovney had a party one night, and it was Ron McGovney. He had just left Metallica, and they had just gotten Cliff Burton. And we all still hung out with Ron because we loved Ron. He was a great dude, and he had a hell of a house to party at. So he had a 2-story condo he had just gotten into after the original Metallica house, which was where him and James lived. And fortunately, that's where I got to hear the first Metallica demos was at that house. But anyways, fast forward, Ron McGovney's out of Metallica. We're partying at his house. It's Dark Angel, HIRAX, Slayer, and Ron McGovney, and I believe War God, which was another up-and-coming metal band at that time. We're all partying at Ron McGovney's house, and if you see the photo, Jeff Hanneman's in the middle of the photo, and we're all around him drinking beer. We're going crazy. That photo is a perfect picture of what was going on. And so if you find it, that's, the story behind it. The party was so wild that some of the bathrooms downstairs you couldn't get into because everyone was peeing so much from drinking so much beer. So at one point I had to go upstairs because there was another bathroom upstairs. And as I was going upstairs, Jeff Hanneman, this is a true fucking story. Jeff Hanneman was passed out on the stairs, just out. And I had to go to the bathroom, so I had to step over Jeff Hanneman to go up the stairs, which I totally was able to pull off because pretty acrobatic. So I stepped over Jeff, and I'll never forget him not waking up. He was just so out. And I went upstairs and went to the bathroom. When I came back down, he was still on the stairs and just stepped over him, and we continued to party. That's just the way the parties were back in those days. But Jeff was an ultimate party maniac. And it was Jeff and also Tom Araya was there that night. And I remember Tom was just smoking weed. That was always Tom Araya's thing. So when you're watching these live streams, I'm going to tell you the truth. Some people might trip because I'm, telling what they were doing, but that's just the way it was back in the 80s. We partied. We drank a lot of beer, tons of beer, a lot of hard liquor, and weed was like the other thing. A lot of people smoked weed, but I remember Tom Araya smoking weed, and Jeff was a big beer drinker. So that's probably why Jeff was passed out. But that's one of my favorite memories of hanging out with Slayer and Jeff Hanneman. So
nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right.
So how are we doing on time? Is there a readout?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much time.
It's pretty much time for us to go. I hope you guys enjoyed the unboxing of the Slaughter merchandise that I brought back from Canada. I'm always up for talking about toys. Obviously, I love toys. Thank you guys for checking in. To everybody on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Thank you. If you want HIRAX merchandise, go to the Big Cartel, HIRAX Big Cartel. You can get all of our stuff there. We're coming on tour. Mexico, you're up next. I want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in today. Much love and respect. We'll see you on the road. Stay heavy.
Yeah.